You are listening to 100 Days of EPT, a podcast I developed for you to easily access targeted forgiveness and affirmation statements that will support you changing your life for good. I'm Sherry Hamilton. EPT is short for Emotional Polarity Technique, an innovative holistic emotional therapy. I've been practicing EPT for over 20 years, and I've helped hundreds of people get through some tough mental, emotional, physical challenges. You can contact me for private sessions or private retreats for your unique healing challenges at eptworkshuntsville.com. "100 Days of EPT, Day 24. I am now able to listen to my childhood self's needs." Think and speak aloud. I am now able to listen to my childhood self's needs. Take into consideration what you are taking on for yourself. As a child, you are dependent on your parents. You react to your parents' direction as your natural need for survival. When your childhood self was growing and looking to your parents, you had some needs that went unnoticed, neglected, or even devalued. Those injuries from your childhood can only be healed through forgiveness, and that reconnects you with love. Using emotional polarity technique therapy methods, you can speak and listen to your injured childhood self that lives within you now, and you will know what your needs are now versus the needs of your injured childhood self. You have the power to give yourself compassion now for the childhood or the unhappy life you may still feel like you got cheated out of. You have the power to guide your childhood self through forgiveness for what they decided to believe long ago that doesn't make sense for your life now. As you go through this beginning EPT mini session, you are letting go of blame and past hurts. Your ultimate goal is to empty the space where you have been holding all blame and past hurts from your childhood. You are doing this in service to your childhood self's needs, and you get the bonus of creating massive space of love and compassion with new experience of connection with yourself. This new feeling of connection translates into your deeper connection with care and compassion toward others. While thinking, I am now able to listen to my childhood self's needs. Place one hand over your heart and one hand over your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Repeat, taking 2 more deep breaths in and out. Remove your hand from your forehead. Hold one hand over your heart with your thumb under one collarbone and your 4 fingers under the other collarbone. Gently rub spots below collarbones while speaking the following statements. Take a deep breath in and out after you speak aloud each statement. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I'm afraid to let go of my habit of turning away from my needs on every level. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I'm afraid to listen to my childhood self's needs. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I'm afraid. I don't know what to do with my pain and unmet needs of the past, even if I listen. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I am afraid that letting go of silencing my childhood self's needs would be bad for me or for someone I love. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I am afraid it's my fault. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I am afraid this pain from my childhood self will last forever. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I don't believe there is any pain in my childhood. I deeply and completely accept myself even when I am afraid that listening to my childhood self's needs would be good for me or for someone I love. I forgive myself for believing I can't show up and listen to my childhood self needs. I forgive myself for believing that showing up and listening to my childhood self needs will only increase my pain. I forgive myself for believing it is better for me to remain disconnected from the pain and injustice of my childhood self. I forgive myself for treating my childhood self with neglect and distraction from their needs now. I forgive myself for believing because I don't know how to listen to my childhood self needs, then it isn't possible for me to do it. I forgive myself for what I don't know how to do when I show up and pay attention to listening to my childhood self's needs. I forgive myself for feeling inadequate for meeting past needs of my childhood self. I forgive myself for believing that help is not here for me as I show up and pay attention to my childhood self's needs. I forgive myself for believing I can't know what my childhood self needs. I forgive myself for believing I am not able to know my childhood self needs. I forgive myself for setting up situations in my life to justify my ongoing blame, pain, and lack of compassion. I forgive myself for believing this childhood blame and pain is important for me now and keeps me safe. I forgive myself for choosing to let go of my disconnection from listening to and healing my childhood self's needs. I forgive myself for believing that distraction is the only response I am capable of with my childhood self's needs. I forgive myself for believing it is impossible for me to pay attention to my inner childhood self needs. I forgive others for how they treated me as a child. I forgive others for devaluing degrading, or neglecting my childhood self's needs. I forgive others for what they didn't know about listening to my childhood self's needs. I forgive others for their lack of compassion and lack of care toward me as a child. I give others permission to forgive me for believing I would never forgive the hurt they caused me. I give others permission to forgive me for listening to my childhood self needs now. I give others permission to forgive me for learning new ways of communication with compassion and care for myself by listening to my childhood self's needs. I give others permission to forgive me for blaming them for my unmet childhood self's needs. I give others permission to forgive me for telling the truth about my unmet childhood self's needs. I give others permission to forgive me for letting go of hurt from my childhood so I can acknowledge and heal the stored pain and get relief. I give others permission to forgive me for showing up in my life now with care and compassion and ability to listen with attention to my childhood self's needs. I give others permission to forgive me for paying attention to listening to my childhood self's needs and supplying compassion for myself. Without the need to turn away from my childhood self's needs, I am free to show up for myself now with compassion for my old way of pattern distractive thinking. I am free to pay attention to my needs now. I am free to pay attention to my thinking and my old patterns of response as an old defense that no longer serves me. I am free to tell the truth about my current needs and maintain loving connections. I am free to tell the truth about my childhood with compassion and gratitude for who I am now. I am free to let go of this old pattern thinking that kept me distracted and uncared for. I am free to let go of self-blame and lovingly pay attention to my needs now. I am free to let go of my childhood fears that no longer serve me. I am free to listen with honesty to my past experiences. I am free to learn new skills of listening with care and compassion to myself and to others. I am free to forgive others. I am free to unload space of blame and pain that no longer serve me. I am free to connect in true love with gratitude for my life and my friendships. I am free to be the friend that I needed when I was a child. I am free to be of greater help and service to those in need. I am free to heal my past and present needs through forgiveness. I am free to love more, and I am able to now listen to my childhood self's needs. May you be blessed today with a thankful heart, healing of your pain, and comfort through your trials. May you experience your life and your connection to others with belonging and safety. May you know that you matter. May you show up in peace, trust, and friendships that last a lifetime. May you see, know, and act on good with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. Thanks for listening.